afternoon, everyone.
Good
I am sure,
afternoon.
yeah, great to have everyone. I am Shirley Massey, Executive Director of Queens North Borough Citywide Office, and I want to welcome all of you to our Queens North Teacher Recruitment and Information Fair. And also thank you for taking the time to join us today for this exciting event. For our special guests, our Queens College students joining in today, we're so excited to have you and provide you with the opportunity to hear from our Executive Superintendent, Mabel Sardoui, and our Queens North Superintendents and their teams to hear about the great offerings available here in our Queens North districts. A special thank you to Dr. Fusco and Dr. Peroni for joining with us today and partnering with us on this special event. And again, we're so excited to have you and hope the information that we share today is informative and helpful as you begin your journey as an educator. But before I turn it over to our executive superintendent, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. Please mute your microphone during presentations. There is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen where you can pose and post questions that will either be answered during the chat throughout the presentations or during our Q&A portion of the session today. Resources from today's presentations will be forwarded to you at the email address where you registered. And lastly, I want to inform everyone and share that this session is being recorded. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to our Executive Superintendent, Mabel Sardoui, who will be sharing greetings. Thank you.
Shirley Massey, thank you so much for putting this together for us, and to the entire BCO team, superintendents, and their representatives. Good afternoon to the class of 2021. We are so proud of you, Dr. Fusco. Thank you for this opportunity for our team to share with your students the resources that we have at Queens North for our new teachers. We are very proud that you are doing your last minute check-ins with your advisors or your teachers, and that you are graduating very shortly from Queens College. Many of our colleagues that you're going to hear from today were students of Queens College. And I want to take you back to who is that teacher in secondary, in high school, because this is the audience of middle school and high school. I remember my elementary second grade teacher and my first year English university teacher, Ms. Zuccaro and Mr. Evans. And the reason why I remember those two people is because they saw me. They saw the potential in me, and they allowed me to be a leader in their classrooms. So as you reflect and think about who is the teacher that you remember, I want you to dream big. All possibilities are available to you. Please get to know the children, their cultures, their families, so that you can infuse that culture into your lessons. Those teachers that you remember are the teachers that allowed you to be you. So think big, think out of the box, enjoy yourself. This has been 35 years for me in education. And every day I wake up, I am blessed to be part of the Department of Education. So I am hopeful that you will choose the Department of Education and Queens North to teach in the future. And I'm going to stop there so that others can share all the great things that are happening in Queens North. I want to wish you lots of success, and we are here to support you in this beautiful journey that you are starting. Thank you so much. Shirley?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Executive Superintendent Sardoui. And at this time, I want to ask Dr. Peroni to join us from Queens College to share a few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to first congratulate all the secondary students on getting to this point of your academic careers. And something I always point out, that only 30% of individuals in this country have a bachelor's and only 10% have a master's. And sometimes we don't think about that because we're surrounded with people with these kind of advanced degrees. But and if it was easy, those percentages would be a heck of a lot harder. So congratulations to each of you. And I'm really thrilled for this opportunity that we have to partner with Queens North. And I think when you take passion and you put passion into any endeavor, any action, beautiful things can and do happen. So we have this passionate group of soon-to-be graduates, and you're going to hear the passion coming from the speakers today. And education is nothing without passion. So I'm really looking forward to connecting those resources, and resources kind of grounded in this love of learners and love of learning and this passion. So I'm just really excited for this opportunity. And I want to thank everyone who has been involved in kind of getting this event materialized, because I know it's not difficult navigating schedules. And I want to thank everybody for giving their precious time to this critical endeavor. And I thank you again for the invite.
Yes, yes, and thank you for joining us. And just want to thank, Dr. Fusco wasn't able to join us today, but she was with us on a Wednesday. And just thank you again for partnering with us on this really important and exciting event today. So I just want to, I'm going to at this time share a very high level overview of some of our borough office offerings. And I'm going to try to get our participants, our students from Queens College, to be a little bit engaged and interactive during part of the presentation. So get yourselves ready to jump into the chat. So Queens North, Queens North Borough Citywide Office? Who are we and what are we all about? So just a little quote, a poem that I was introduced to when I became a teacher many years ago that I think you'll find quite inspiring. And so it starts off with, the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, but the great teacher inspires. And that's by William A. Ward. So just take a minute to think about this. To which of these do you aspire? I'll give you a moment to just think about that as you begin your journey and embark upon your career as an educator. Okay. All right, let's get going. So let's talk about Queens North schools. This is our map of Queens North of schools. You'll see all the dots of all of our districts indicated on the map. And Queens North schools go from, we're a range of communities and neighborhoods. So we start off with Long Island City, to Little Neck, Ridgewood, to College Point, Jackson Heights, to Elmhurst, just to name a few. Queens North is comprised of 4 community school districts, 1 high school district, 169 schools, 24 high schools, 141 pre-K to 8 schools, 3 pre-K centers. We have 142,875 students, of which 19% of those students are Ls, 16% of our students have IEPs, and 6% of our students live in temporary housing. Our students come from all over the world. Starting from Kenya, Ecuador, Taiwan, Russia, Egypt, Australia, Mexico, Guatemala, China, Zambia, Colombia, South Korea, India, just to name a few. So let's see, what are the top 10 places of birth of Queens North students? Nepal, Pakistan, Egypt, India, Colombia. So let's stop. Let's see if you can take a guess on the top 5. I'll give you a minute, jump in the chat, and let's see those responses come in. Okay. All right, we see them coming in.
We have a couple coming in as questions in Q&A.
Okay,
China, Korea, Bangladesh, Ecuador, Guatemala. You
okay.
guys can use the chat. You can use the chat for this.
All right, so let's jump back in. We have Dominican Republic, Bangladesh, Ecuador, I saw that in the chat. China, I saw that in the chat. And of course, the USA. And our Queens North students were born in over 170 countries. Wow. Quite diverse, right? So let's talk about our home languages of our Queens North students. We'll start off with Nepali, Punjabi, Polish, Urdu, and Arabic. Again, let's stop, pause, take a guess, jump in the chat, and see if you can tell me about the top 5 languages. See them coming in.
I don't know. Let's see if it's in the top 3.
Yes. Let's see. All right. So I'll jump back in. We have Korean, Bengali, Chinese. I saw that in there in the chat. Spanish, and of course, English. So our Queens North students speak a combined 124 languages. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So why teach in Queens North? That's the big question, right? Yes. Why teach in Queens North? I'm sure you're wondering that. So if you're looking for a place to teach in a diverse environment where you can grow professionally, then Queens North is absolutely the place for you. We provide a professional, exciting, and supportive environment to a culturally and linguistically diverse population of staff and students alike. And this is exemplified in our vision and mission statements, which you can take a look at. I want you to take a look at our vision and mission statement. I'll give you about a minute just to take a look at what grounds us in Queens North. Okay, so now how will we support you? Queens North, the borough office, has a number of teams of which are focused on supporting you in a variety of ways. We'll start off with our Division of Teaching and Learning, who is dedicated to providing you with ongoing support as you embark on this exciting journey. As you can see, some of our wonderful staff members in the picture displayed. So how do we support you and your students? We have a multi-tiered system of support, which is a collaborative initiative designed to improve reading outcomes for all of our students by utilizing universal screeners and data-driven instruction. We have our math professional learning communities, which provide opportunities for teachers to meet, connect, and share best practices in mathematics instruction while receiving on-site and now virtual coaching and support. And some of the professional learning opportunities. So as a teacher, you're required to have CTLE credit. And so our professional learning opportunities will allow you to obtain those, which is required by New York State to maintain your teacher license. So we provide ample opportunities for you to engage in work and then get this credit as well at the same time, grow professionally. Our Division of English Language Learners, they host a numerous number of professional learning opportunities, as well as time to share best practices with other colleagues in the field of English language learners. Nearly one out of every 5 of students in Queens North is an L, so it is absolutely critical that we support you so that you can support our students in being successful. So here are just a few professional learning titles and support opportunities that will be of most interest to you as a teacher. We have weekly policy office hours, on-site and virtual classroom visits to provide feedback to teachers. We have supporting standalone E&L instruction using Engage New York core knowledge language arts curriculum for grades K to 5. And now moving on to our Division of Special Education. 16% of our students have IEPs. So once again, it is critically important that we support you and make sure that you're well prepared to support our students so that they can be successful. And here are just a few support opportunities. data-driven goal setting and progress monitoring to guide specially designed instruction, intervention, and quality IEPs, targeted supports to create systems and structures for progress monitoring and IEP management, progress monitoring, and their annual goals, students' annual goals. And we have a 4-part series around student-led IEPs. Our Division of Student Services, critically important as we move forward this year, in the next few years. This division of student services provides supports around social emotional needs of students and staff, right? We provide supports and services to students and staff regarding social emotional needs through virtual and on-site school visits, training sessions, and special initiatives. We meet with teachers and school leaders on a variety of topics, such as addressing attendance, chronic absenteeism, and suspensions. And last but certainly not least, our data team. And our work, we all believe that our work needs to be grounded in data. Therefore, our data team works closely with schools and supports schools with a variety of reports, such as biweekly attendance and accountability projection tools for high schools, and provide a number of training at various times throughout the year as well. So that's just a little bit about who we are and what we offer, and we hope that we'll be able to support you as a new teacher coming into the Department of Education, specifically in Queens North, and we'll hope to see you in our schools and at our professional learning opportunities offered next fall. So at that time that we're going to see you, we hope we'll remind you of all this work that all the things that we're sharing, and hope that you'll be able to join in and become a part of our Queens North community. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Bonilla, our HR director from Queens North, who will share a little bit about how to get started with the application process in the Department of Education. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Jessica.
Good afternoon, all. I'll be going over how to apply for the DOE. Okay, applying for the DOE, we use our website. It's called Teacher Support Network. The website's right on top. Don't worry if you don't get time to write it down right now. I have the website on each slide, and we'll also have the website posted on the chat. Once you entered on Google Teachers Support Network, you'll be taken to this page. If you are a new user, you'll be using this. If you have an existing user here, if you're not even sure, just want to search yourself to see if you ever did apply for the DOE in the past, you can always use this section right here. In applying for the DOE, there'll be 3 steps. You'll be first creating an account. Then you'll be filling in a common profile, which is just basic questions. And then at the end, you'll be you'll be filling in an application for a specific role for this presentation before a teacher. In creating a profile, you'll be using, for your username, an email address. We do recommend you use your personal email address. We don't recommend using any emails with given to you with either high school or colleges. The reason for that is after you graduate, after a couple years, sometimes they deactivate them. So we always prefer that you use a personal email address until you receive a DOE email. We'll be sending all the correspondence to there. Next, this will be filling out a common profile. These will be your basic questions that we'll be asking. Here's your address, your social, your work eligibility, your current address, your phone number. Next, we'll go on to your education, high school, anything higher than that, your language proficiency. You have 3 options. Next, on the next page, you'll be filling out your experiences and references. You'll be uploading your resume. You'll be also answering if you ever worked with us and any paid teaching or student teaching volunteer service you may have. Next, you'll be filling out your preferences of where to work based on the borough. Next, you'll be completing any demographic questions. Next, you'll be reading our disclaimer and our release for the DOE. And now you had just finished completing the basic questions for the common profile. Now you're at the last steps on completing your application to the DOE. You'll be going back to the main page. And on the left-hand side, you see candidate profile. Right here, you'll be going here, and it's going to take you right to this page. On here, you start new applications. On this drop-down here, you'll be selecting teacher. Just know you may also apply to other roles here. So if you're interested, whether it's guidance counselor or school social worker, this would be the same process. Now you'll be filling out your availability, your grade preference of teaching, geographic preference of where you would like to work. Here you'll be also filling in your experience and specifically your certification on here. If you're not sure, we also put the state's website to help you to know where you are or if you need any additional information. Next, the DOE will ask for an essay. It's about 500 words. We give you 3 questions here on the bullets to complete. This will complete the end of your DOE application. Look for an email that says you have completed it. If you not have completed, if you just computer's not working, don't worry, everything saves. And you'll also get an email saying, hey, we see you started an application, come back and finish. So just look for that email. Thank you for joining us. Once you complete your application, please send your email, your resume to me at jbonilla10@schools.nyc.gov. And don't worry, we'll put this information on the chat. Thank you. I'll be passing over to Dina now.
Thank you, Jessica, for that really informative presentation. If any of you have any questions about that application process, please be sure to put it in the Q&A box chat. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words with that, and we'll address them at the end of this session. So hello, my name is Dina Ravel, and I am the Chief of Staff for Queens North. I'm so excited to see so many of you joining us today, expressing interest in Queens North as you embark upon the beginning of your very rewarding teaching career. Today, we are lucky enough to have our 5 superintendents from Queens North, 4 community school district superintendents, District 24, 25, 26, and 30, as well as our superintendent from Queens High Schools. I'd like to now introduce, it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Superintendent Madeline Chan, who will speak to you for a few moments about the wonderful things happening in District 24. Superintendent Chan?
Thank you so much, Dina. Just a mic check. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay, terrific.
Sounds great.
Thank you. Good afternoon, future teachers. What an exciting time this is for all of you. I am Madeline Chan, Superintendent of District 24. We do have a very large district, but we have a small family philosophy. We're very supportive of new teachers, and we will never forget what it was like to walk in the shoes of someone just starting out in this amazing field. Teachers truly are the backbone of District 24. They are role models to children, offer guidance and dedication, and give our young people the power of education. In this district, we believe that Being passionate about everything you're teaching and being real with your students are the top two motivations that our students need. We believe that a great teacher is warm, accessible, enthusiastic, and caring. Great teachers possess good listening skills and take time out of their way too busy schedules for anyone who needs them. Ultimately, we believe teachers have three loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first two loves together. Education is really our passport to the future, because we know that tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for today. I'm really happy that our assistant principal, Matthew Borelli, is also on the platform this afternoon. He oversees the middle school portion of his large K-8 school, and it's my pleasure to introduce him. He is going to share some information about District 24 that I hope you all find very informing. Hi, Matt.
Hello, Madeline. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. And thank you to Queens College for hosting this. I do want to say thank you to Dr. Perrone. I've only emailed him for the last several, seems like 5 years or so, about putting Queens College student teachers in placement in our school. And I have to say, dealing with multiple colleges, Queens College student teachers have been some of the most thoughtful, determined student teachers we've had. We actually have hired a few on staff, and we always look forward to working with Queens College and getting resumes from people in Queens College. And I know that's across the district, so I just wanted to say thank you to Queens College for that. So a little bit about myself. I'm an assistant principal for a 6 to 8 and a pre-K to 8 school. So while it's not your typical middle school experience, it's a microcosm of what goes on in a bigger middle school. Less kids, same type of fun, on the go, like just keep you on your feet, amazing experiences that only the 11 to 13-year-old students can bring. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It has really shaped my vision of how kids learn best and how to work with young people. When I started in 2003, I was fresh out of not Queens College, a different college. And I walked in my first day, there were kids taller than me, totally just floored by how different working in Queens was from where I grew up in Long Island. By the end of the school year, I remember my mom asking me, like, do you think you would go back and work in the city? And I said, absolutely, without a doubt. I said, I can't envision working any other place with any other type of kids. It has been an enriching experience for the last 18 years. And I'm very thankful every day that I get to work in New York City, because I truly do feel you can make a real difference working with children at such a pivotal moment in their lives with this age group. And it's so rewarding, even on the tough days. Working with middle school kids has been something that I've always enjoyed. So this brings me to just March of 2020, when everything went sideways. And that's a lot of stress. And I really am so appreciative that in District 24, we have, like Mrs. Chan said, a family unit where we really did look out for each other. And that wasn't just for principals and assistant principals, that went all the way down to a teacher that was struggling. Because we know that when we have things that we are dealing with collectively, individually, our students are on the tail end of that. And every decision that we try to make in District 24 is for the betterment of students. And how can we help them? How can we help their families? So over the last year and a half, it has just solidified what District 24 does for students and for their families. And you can't go wrong working in any of these districts that are going to present today. But I just have a real soft spot for District 24. It's just been my home away from my personal home. So I'm going to present to you now just a little bit about our district. And Okay. Okay, I just need to check that you can all see what I see. Community School District 24.
Yes,
Yep, looks
yes.
great.
Okay, all right. All right, so here's a little breakdown. And I know earlier in the presentation, I think there was something about like 142,000 students in Queens. And when you look at District 24, from about 56,000 students, it's a lot of students in District 24. But with a lot of students and a lot of schools comes a lot of opportunity to make inroads in your career. So you see the breakdown of how our district relates to the larger Queens district, and just working in Elmhurst and a few other places within the district, you get a slice of every community, culture. It really was educational for me as a kid from Long Island that really didn't see much different. Coming to Queens was just such a boon for me. Not to mention that I lived in Queens for about 10 years. I miss living in Queens, and because I just miss having these interactions with just Queens in general. And coming to the schools, District 24, you see that when you walk into a classroom, you're going to get just a full representation of what New York City brings. You'll also see that, we serve 75.3% economically disadvantaged students, but don't let that number fool you. That does not mean that these are kids that are not capable. These are across the district. You would never know anything about economically disadvantaged students unless you asked and knew that information. Our kids are so on the ball.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls.
I muted myself just because we have a Mother's Day message going out to our staff and our kids.
Time for yourself. Boys and girls, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see everybody back here on Monday.
So I should say, as you met Mrs. Chan, our superintendent, and she is just the backbone, the support, the safety net. And this goes down to new teachers. Our teachers always have an opportunity to excel, be part of larger groups, and there is always opportunities for leadership. I was fortunate enough to be able to go from being a teacher, working in different groups within my school, assistant principal, and then as an assistant principal, just working with other APs and working, learning from doing visits and seeing the quality of teacher across the district. It's actually very inspiring that it's not just in little areas, it's across District 24. And we have high expectations for our kids, but with that, we also know that our kids and their families are individuals and that we have to meet them where they are so that we can work with them so they can reach those high expectations. And I know that every parent that comes into my school, they get that individual one-on-one attention. Their kids get the one-to-one interactions that they need so that they can succeed. When you have a system where you can support families and kids, it helps every single person, whether they need the supports or not, knowing that they're there when they do need them. That's a hallmark of District 24. And then these are just some of these are the communities where we work in: Corona, Elmhurst, Glendale, Long Island City, Maspeth, Middle Village, Ridgewood, Sunnyside, Woodside. It's an expansive district. And as big as the district is, when you work in one of our schools, there are so many other schools so close by. And you just have like this kinship with your neighboring schools. We're one of the 6 K-8 schools, so we have relationships with the other K-8 schools. We have the regular middle schools that are around the neighborhood. We work closely with those principals and the staff so we can work on how to help kids, benefit our teachers. And then these are some of the programs that we use. And these go from pre-K all the way through 8. And they're designed so that our students have the confidence, so they have the ability to problem solve, they have the ability to voice what they need. And District 24 is really big on, there's a traditional like feel to District 24 because a lot of families, when they live here, they don't move out of here. So you have a lot of generational families here, but there is a progressive bent to what we're doing because we grow with the population of our communities. And when our communities need more, we provide more, we grow with them. And there's a safety in that. And then that helps the teachers that you get to come in and you're given the opportunity to bring in something that you're passionate about into our buildings. The principals are always looking for ways to enhance the day-to-day interactions and life of our students. And middle school is such a great place to start those initiatives because if you've ever talked to a 12-year-old, they have an opinion and an idea about everything. They are so passionate about stuff. They just need the outlet. And I feel like District 24, through working with social justice committees, gender and sexuality alliances, it's there for them. And when you have a student population that is so passionate, like the teachers jump into that. And I know when I started teaching, I just wanted to be involved because I feel like that's what you get into this job for, into this career for. And you feed off of middle school students, and you want to do more, and you want to see them succeed. And in District 24, we really try to help parents and kids untap that potential. This is the team. I just want to give a shout out to James. I don't know if he's on the call. If you work in a District 24 school and there's anything that ever needs to be known, an AP or a principal can reach out to James, and it seems like within hours, he has all the information that you could want. So it's a very supportive team in the district office, and it's very personal. The team really does get to know people within the schools, and that's just a great thing. And when it comes to COVID, just so like we're working with everything within the guidelines of keeping kids safe. That's the number one thing. We have about 500 or so kids in our building out of 1,200, and masks, hand washing, social distancing, it's all in place. The kids are just so happy to be back. And our middle school kids, especially the 8th graders, are like, I just didn't want to miss 8th grade in the building. I mean, that just shows you the dedication that kids have to their education. They said there was enough time being in bed. I don't want to be in bed anymore. And that brings us also to the social emotional needs. This is really a key component of what we do. It's just something that is embedded in how we deal with children, how we deal with their families, and also how we deal with one another as teachers. There's a lot of stress. You don't shy away from the stress. You embrace it because it pushes you, but at the same time, you need to know how to do self-care. And we know that our schools, we bring in brain power, we bring in yoga, we bring in meditation, and our principals and the APs were really supportive of what teachers need so that they can continue to just do what they do best, which is work with kids. And so say thank you, and I'm gonna unshare my screen. And thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you, Queens College students. You're getting into an amazing career, and you really do have to think about those teachers that inspired you and hold on to that, because you will be that for someone. And it really is, it's like no other career you can get into. So I really thank you for taking the time to be here today, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much, District 24, Superintendent Chan, Mr. Borelli, thank you so much. Next up, it's my pleasure to introduce Superintendent Danielle Dimango, representing District 25. Danielle?
Let me unmute myself. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with all of you today. I want to start off by saying congratulations. You are embarking on a really amazing and exciting journey. I still remember my first year of teaching, and it was one of the most exciting and rewarding times of my life. I am also a very proud Queens College graduate, and I actually remember the day I got my first teaching job at IS 25 in District 25. I was standing right outside Queens College Library. So I want to just thank everyone that had us come all together today for these opportunities, because we know that Queens College teachers are some of the best out there. So we welcome you to the opportunity to get to know Queens North, and especially District 25. So Louis, are you putting up my slide, or? Oh, Mike is? Okay. So I do believe that you will all have access to this brief slide that talks about what District 25 is all about. Our theme is Strong Roots, Strong Schools. And we look at building foundations for all, for our leaders, for our teachers, so they could grow as educators and professionals, and help our students to grow into the best learners and adults that they can be. So we have 8 middle schools, 4 K-8 schools, and this slide really talks about all that we have to offer. And I could go through this and really talk about the district, but I know that you're going to get this. The one thing that I thought was really important for teachers to hear today is from teachers and from our building leaders about what District 25 is all about. And I wanted you to have time to speak with them. So I would like to introduce Renee Klager and Marlena Naylor. They are 2 of our D25 amazing principals and teachers that will talk to you a little bit about what it's like to teach in the district. So welcome, Renee and Marlena.
Thank you, Superintendent Dimango, and I just want to echo Superintendent Dimango's sentiments. Congratulations to the graduates. I too am a Queens College alumni, and I agree they make some of the best teachers that we have in the city. A little bit about myself. I am the founding principal of College Point Collaborative Middle School. We are a grade 6 through 8 school. We opened in September 2018. And when we opened, we were a staff of 1. And so I had to go through a lot of resumes and do a lot of interviewing in order to find my team of teachers and staff that make my school what it is today. Back when our 8th graders were in 4th grade, our superintendent, Dimango, met with them, asked them what they want the school to be about. And one of the things that stuck out was this word: they want the school to be about collaboration. And so something that I look for when I'm hiring and I'm interviewing is how you talk about how you've worked on a team and how collaborative you are. I also look for your passion for teaching and for students. And I look for your desire to be a lifelong learner. In the DOE, things change every day. We saw in the pandemic, we had to change our thinking. We had to jump to remote teaching. And so we just have to be ready to learn new things. And so some of the new teacher supports that we give you, we offer new teacher training week in the summer to our teachers so that we could go over district goals and school goals and DOE protocols that you might not know that you need to learn so that you feel, ready when the school year starts. Every new teacher gets a mentor in the building, someone who's an experienced teacher. We're so lucky to be part of Queensborough North because they have so much professional development and so much professional learning in and out of school that they offer. And it really comes from the top down. Executive Superintendent Sardui, she makes sure that we have everything that we need. She works with Superintendent Dimango and Deputy Superintendent Dr. Tantona. They've asked us, like when the pandemic started, what do your teachers need? What supports can we give you? And right away, they came up with Apple training, which was fun and exciting and engaging for our students. Of course, we have an open door policy where we meet with teachers, but not only is it administrators that meet with teachers, we have intervisitation from teacher to teacher because we're such a collaborative school. I get messages from parents all the time. One of the messages I recently got was this: CPC was the best choice we've ever made regarding our kids' education. And it's not because of what I do, it's because of the staff that I have here and how passionate they are about helping the children succeed. Someone once said to me, surround yourself with a great team and your job will be easier. And I have a great team. And one of my team members, Miss Nadler, is going to share with you now.
Hi, Queens College. I am so happy to be here. Dr. Peroni said at the beginning that education is nothing without passion. I differ only slightly in what he said, in that I think education is passion. So I want you guys to think for a moment about why you decided to go into education. Maybe you didn't originally decide that when you finished high school. Maybe you always knew you were a teacher at heart, but think about why you're here now and what you hope to accomplish. All of those reasons that you might be thinking of are why I became a teacher and why I'm still here after 10 years in this profession. I think teaching is all about joy, excitement, learning, and being a partner in the learning process with our students. District 25 has a similar philosophy, and it's because I work in District 25 that I'm able to come in to work and treat it as an adventure every day, an adventure in learning, where I'm partnered with my students, my colleagues, and the administration. It's just incredible to come in and have ideas that I can share with students and colleagues and administration and get feedback. It's really just been a wild ride these past 10 years, and over the past year, it's been a little crazy too. I know that there have been stories in the newspaper about teaching during the pandemic. It has definitely changed education across the world. Teaching in District 25 during the pandemic was a life-changing experience for me, because we are in this situation that's almost like a world war environment. And in District 25, I never for a minute felt unsupported. The district always just had a how can I help? Who needs support and how can I help attitude? And that came all the way from the superintendent's office down to my Principal Klager, my AP, and also the teachers. And we had that same philosophy towards our families. When kids weren't showing up because they didn't have technology last March, we all had a how can I help mentality. And during moments where the district offered programs like the Apple training, I was able to come together with my fellow teachers and create really monumental interdisciplinary units that I never thought I'd be able to do, giving kids real, authentic learning tasks that are kind of replicating the work that I did in college. And I know that they're going to take that experience with them to high school and beyond. That work continues, and basically we've grown during the pandemic. District 25 offers so much, and all of Queens North really offers so much. I am a New York City public school child. I even went to public college in New York City and then later St. John's, not Queens College, unfortunately. And I've worked in every borough but Staten Island at both public and charter schools. I can tell you that the experience I've had in the past 2 years working under Principal Klager is unparalleled. I have never worked with such a collaborative staff. I have never looked forward to coming to work. When school shut down this year and I couldn't be with my kids and with like my school family, it was hard on me. And when they opened again, every day I was excited to come in just to say hi to our school safety agents, to food services, and to everyone else I get the privilege of working with in the building. there are so many opportunities here. Every day is a new adventure where I get to teach kids things that I think are changing their lives, where I get to inspire children to become who they want to be and to have doors open for them. I think that kids are incredible, and I want them to have all the light bulbs in their head turned on, and I want them to leave our classrooms with the ability to know that they can do anything that they commit to if they get gritty with it and stay committed. And District 25 offers me that opportunity to serve my kids. There's also like no scary leaders. I've worked in some boroughs other than Queens where there have been closed doors where the answer was always no. And that is just not the case here. It's just such a privilege to speak with you about my experience. And I know that you should know rather, that my door is figuratively always open, just like Principal Klager. Please email us if you have any questions. I can put our emails in the chat as well for you. We are always happy to talk shop or tell you more about our school. Thank you.
So I want to say a big thank you to Marlena and Renee. You guys did a great job promoting District 25. You know, a couple of things that Marlena did talk about is our beliefs and our vision is around collaboration, support, and success. We feel that if we plant the seeds for success for our teachers, then our students grow and everyone benefits. So once again, guys, congratulations. And I wish you luck on your journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Dimango and District 25. Next, we have Dr. Tara Davidson of District 26, Deputy Superintendent of District 26. Tara?
Thank you, Dina. Good afternoon and congratulations to all the graduates of 2021. I am Dr. Tara Davidson, proud Deputy Superintendent of District 26. Honored to be here this afternoon with my team, Superintendent Jenda, Anthony Anzarello, our special instructional liaison, and most importantly, our special guest, an incredible middle school teacher and partner in our district, Ms. Jennifer Schechter of Middle School 158. In partnership with Queens North, Executive Superintendent Sardui and our colleagues, we are one of the 4 Queens North districts that you're hearing about today, in addition to our high school partners, representing over 17,000 students and 28 pre-K to 8 schools. We do have 5 standalone middle schools and 2 pre-K to 8 schools as part of our district. And one of the things that I do just want to thank you all for is considering teaching as a career and profession. Obviously, we wouldn't be here and wouldn't be as excited to talk to you about it if we truly didn't believe that it's the most rewarding and honorable profession that you can go into. As a former middle school teacher and graduate of the New York City Teaching Fellows Program, I do truly believe that you do want to think about which students remember your name. And how you can provide that environment and compassion and support for all of the children in our charge. And so with that, we use Simon Sinek's philosophy of start with why to ground all of the work in our district. And with that, our why is our most important resource, and that's our students, their voice and their passion, specifically in terms of how we support them, act upon that, and use that to guide our teaching and learning practices across the district. We are really focused on ensuring that they have opportunities to inquire, to play, as we like to call it in District 26, especially in areas of computer science. I know that many of you are interested in that. Every single school in our district participates in the Computer Science All initiative. And that's one of the ways that we really look at challenging our students and ensuring that they have the opportunity to be prepared for whatever career they decide to go into moving forward. With our students, one of the things that we also like to think about is how we do things together and collaboratively in District 26. We are the only zoned district in New York City, meaning that we have the opportunity to provide a coherent experience for our 4-year-olds all the way till 14. And so with that, we want to make sure that our teachers are supported and knowing what's taught before and after them across every grade. And so we're organized around professional learning supports in these feeder patterns. And that's something that you'd be able to experience and participate in as part of our instructional program in District 26, and we believe is unique to us as well. And last but not least, we really want to make sure that every member of our community has the responsibility, ownership, and leadership to support us in moving forward towards our mission and goals. And with that, we want to make sure that there's leadership opportunities for everyone in our charge, and hopefully for you one day soon too, moving forward. And as such, our students, our parents, our teachers, and all of our school leaders have these authentic leadership experiences that involve serving others, including some that you'll hear about today from Ms. Schechter as the leader of our District 26 professional learning community. She is one of our former Big Apple finalists, I think 4 or 5 years in the running now, an incredible partner in this work. And not only has she passionately engaged with our students, provided supports for her colleagues across the district in collaborative professional learning communities, but she's also managed to lead district-wide music competitions and celebrations for the students in District 26. This is someone who exemplifies what we hope for all of our classrooms in empowering students and the future teachers in our district. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Schechter to share you a little bit more about teaching and learning in District 26. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. And to all of the graduates of the class of 21, congratulations. And I couldn't be more proud of you for persevering through a global pandemic, finishing school, student teaching in a pandemic. That really says a lot about the fabric of who you are. I'm going to quickly share my screen. So welcome to 6, where we believe in student voice, student choice, and most importantly, educating the whole child. We offer a great deal of voice and choice for our learners. At the middle school levels, students actually have flexibility in their programming in that they are allowed to choose foreign language classes, which Regents level science classes they'll take once they get there. And they also have the opportunity to choose their arts curriculum. More on that in a few minutes. We believe in developing leadership at every level, including within our students. So there's a lot of opportunities for leadership just within classrooms, within schools. Student government is very important in our district. And at the district-wide level, we have a wonderful program called the Student Leadership Program, the SLP, and that engages students from across the schools in district-wide leadership opportunities. Speaking of the whole child, District 26 is a place where the arts are very much alive. These are some pictures just from recent art and music and dance events in my own school. I'm the music teacher at MS 158. I've been in this district as a teacher for 18 years. And prior to that, I was actually a student in this district. And I can attest from the student side and the adult side about just the many talents of our children and what an amazing place it is to teach and to learn. So speaking of teaching in District 26, we as teachers receive incredible channels of support from our district leadership team. There are endless opportunities for us to learn. The assistant principals of our district have formed the D26 core team, which offers professional learning and cross-district opportunities to engage teachers in further leadership within their building communities. We have the District Aspiring Principals Program, the Aspiring Leaders Program. There are so many opportunities to innovate. And this is one of those districts where you come up with an idea, and not only do they let you run with it, they ask you for the supports you need, and they help you along your journey. We have a program called the Big Apple Ambassadors, where several of the teachers who have been finalists for the Big Apple Awards are given a great deal of support and leadership opportunities to form partnerships both within their classrooms, their schools, and even inter-school collaborative projects. A few years ago, I dreamed about putting together a professional learning community of music teachers where not only could the district teachers work together to add coherence to our curriculum from pre-K to 8th grade, but also to get our students to perform together. So here are a few pictures from the first ever District 26 Night of Music, in which we brought together 336 performers representing 12 different schools, 14 different performing ensembles, all in one night celebrating music making. So if you're looking for a place to call home, District 26 is amazing. You will not only learn, but you will grow, you will lead and advance your career. You will work with some of the most wonderful children you could ever meet in a community that truly embraces academics, the arts, and educating the whole child. So once again, congratulations to the class of 2021. I'd now like to introduce our special instructional liaison, Mr. Anthony Inzerillo.
Thank you, Dr. Davidson and Ms. Schechter. And hello, Queens College. Again, my name is Anthony Inzerillo, and I'm the special instructional liaison working in a fantastic district, District 26. Future teachers, you have excellent options and choices in each of the Queens North districts, whether it's District 24, 25, 26, or 30. I have no doubt you'll receive the support and love needed to be a successful educator. District 26 will ensure that your first year of teaching is exciting and that you will be reminded about the reasons why you chose such a noble and an important career field. We recognize that our new and also our seasoned teachers, they want ideas, guidance, and practical advice on building relationships with students, families, school staff, and district staff. You want support and strategies to enhance your teaching practice. And you also want opportunities to talk about some real concerns and to discuss ways that we can support you in resolving some of those questions, concerns, and thoughts that you have. You'll receive support and encouragement from our teacher leaders, school leaders, and district leaders, and you will have multiple opportunities to meet with other educators from our district to be a thought partner in improving your practice by participating in some of our district professional learning communities, such as the Big Apple Ambassador Program, our district Mega Math team, our district equity team, our computer science team, Aspiring as Leader program, or one of our district social emotional learning teams as well. District 26 looks forward to working with you to ensure you begin your career strong and that you grow your teaching practice with the newest pedagogical practices and feel great about the work that you do every day that you come to school. We'd love to welcome you and have you join the District 26 team. Congratulations and good luck to you.
I just wanted to say thank you to my incredible district team and the incredible Ms. Schechter, hands down the best music teacher and educator this city has to offer. Like Ms. Schechter, I am here as an honored superintendent, a humbled superintendent to lead this district, and there were two things that were most important in getting me ready to be here. Number one, I'm a product of District 26 schools, elementary, middle, and high school. And then I'm also a product of Queens College, where I learned how to become a teacher and give back to my community and serve children and their families with all the passion inside of my belly, heart, and soul for this work. It's been an honor to introduce you today to our district. We are so grateful that you are stepping up to the call for public service and supporting the children and families across New York City. And we hope that you continue to pursue opportunities in District 26. Have a great weekend and happy Mother's Day to all celebrating all the great and strong women in your lives. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it back to Dina.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Genta. Next, we have District 30 Superintendent Dr. Philip Composto to tell us all a little about District 30. Dr. Composto?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to set up my screen if you don't mind. So, first of all, I want to congratulate all of our graduates. It's a wonderful thing. I, too, graduated from Queens College. I have my undergraduate in early childhood. I have a master's in special ed, and I also have a master's in administration and supervision from Queens College. And I was lucky enough to win a scholarship and got my doctorate from St. John's. So education is my passion. You know, I'm living the dream. if you saw my 8th grade autograph book, it says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I put the teacher. So I am truly living the dream, and I hope you all get to live the dream. And I must tell the truth, some days that dream is like a little bit of a nightmare, especially in this pandemic, but it's always great to be a teacher and make a difference. With that being said, I want to talk to you a little bit about District 30. And so as you can see, District 30 is a large district too. We are the 2nd largest district after 24. We have over 40,000 children. We incorporate Long Island City, Astoria, Elmhurst, East Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, Sunnyside, and Woodside. So we are a huge district. I'm not going to read you our mission statement. You'll have the opportunity to see it. It's being put up on the web. But it's all about collaboration. That's what we are in District 30, as the other districts spoke about. That's such an important piece. We work closely with teachers, our parents, and even our children. We are truly a community. Our vision is always to ensure that our children have the opportunity to be college and career ready and have the skills necessary to survive in the 21st century. So we have 5 pre-K centers, 26 elementary schools, 5 K-8 schools, and 9 middle schools in District 30. Our pre-K centers are throughout the district. As you can see, we have 4 of them here. Besides having pre-K in our elementary schools, we also have these centers. In addition, this year coming up, we are taking in 3K as well as the 4K. We have lots of programs in our district. Our motto is always about individualizing, looking at each child and creating a program for them. So we have this autism spectrum disorder program. We have it at PS 76, and the children then articulate to IS 204. In addition, we have 5 schools with gifted and talented programs. We house PS 300, which is the citywide gifted and talented. There is 1 citywide gifted and talented in each borough in the city, and we are lucky enough to house the one here in Queens. We are the only district in New York City that has a dual language from pre-K, and I'm happy to say that we are now starting a pre-K 3 dual language right up to high school. So our youngsters who follow our program will have a biliteracy certificate as they graduate from Long Island City High School. And we are presently in working with Bryan High School that they too will be offering a program for us. It is in Spanish. Our dual language program is a Spanish program. So we have 25 schools that participate in the Universal Literacy Program. This is a program that Chancellor Farina started several years ago. And the idea of this is that we are strengthening our K-2 classes so that when our children finally get up into middle school and high school, they're right where they need to be. So we're pretty much excited about that. We also work with the Algebra for All program. All of our elementary schools have this program, and basically what they're doing is preparing our 4th and 5th graders for when they get into middle schools. We offer the algebra regents. So it's a wonderful and exciting program. But what I really enjoy tremendously is that our teachers, elementary teachers, work with our middle school teachers, and our middle school teachers work with our high school teachers. So we work together, we collaborate to ensure that we're doing the right thing for our children. Well, by the year 2024, all schools in New York City will be a part of this Computer Science for All. Now, all of our 41 schools in District 30 have computer science programs. They have all kinds of smart boards and equipment, and every classroom has printers and computers. But this Science for All is a little bit different. It talks about coding. It talks about helping our children incorporate technology throughout their day. So we also have the ACES program, which is Academic, Career, and Essential Skills, which is a program for our students with intellectual or multiple disabilities, promoting and developing inclusive practices throughout the school day, which is really wonderful. It's sort of life skills, you know, for those young people who are in special ed, they're life skills that we work with our children with. We have 4 District 75 schools located in District 30, and we work with them. We have this inclusion program with our elementary and middle school programs, and it's a wonderful piece. When you get to visit them, you see our District 75 children working really closely with our general ed children as well. We, and especially now in this pandemic, but we have 37 schools that provide services through school mental health programs. Each and every one of these schools has a CBO that we're working with that provides mental health, which is wonderful because what happens is if our children are having problems or our parents, they do counseling together. Many times our parents come in for themselves for counseling as well. So our supportive environment. So we work really hard on reducing absences, especially our chronic absences in this time of the pandemic. 100% of our schools use social emotional learning. Some of our programs are Sanford Harmony, PBIS, Brain Power, Restorative Justice Circles, Peer Mediation, Ruler. We have an advisory program, Growth Mindset, Beautiful Me, and Mud Agrees. We have 2 schools that have dogs in them called Mud Agrees, so they work with our children. As you can see, we believe in individualizing. There's not one program that is one size fits all, so we allow our schools to work with their community and decide what programs they would like. We have this wonderful mentoring program with young men of color at William Cullen Bryan High School that presently work with IS 10 and 141. And I had the pleasure to sit in on one of the sessions, and it was great to see our high school young people mentoring our middle schools and giving them good advice. Everybody in District 30, we believe in student voice. So all of our middle schools have student government, and every elementary school has to have a way in which we can hear our students' voice as well. Some of them also do student government. Some of them just have advisories where they come and meet with the principal. We also are the only district in New York City that if you register your child in kindergarten, they automatically get a bank account. And we work with this New York Kids Rise. And what they do is keep collecting money. They raise money to increase the bank account. But the nice part about this is that our children learn about savings. They have an entire curriculum that they go through. Right now, we are up to 3rd grade, and each and every year, they add money to the bank account. And each and every year, the kindergarten children have the opportunity to register for this bank account. Finally, this is our motto. Always remember to ask, how is this good for all children? Whenever we sit down and we're having a difficult conversation, we ensure that we keep asking this question. We have this all over our district. You go into any of our District 30 schools and you'll see this sign. Always remember to ask how this is good for all children. With that, I am so proud to introduce the next person, who's one of our wonderful teachers from IS 145, Samantha Chung, who's going to speak to you a little bit about what is it like to be a teacher in District 30. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and a happy Friday to all of you. I'm so happy to meet all of you here in this place, and excited to share a little bit about my experience and who I am, and my experience in District 30. So a little bit about who I am. I am a middle school ELA teacher. So I teach grades 6 through 8 this year, 7th grade ELA. And this is my 10th year teaching. And I can't believe it. I can't believe how far it's been since I started here as a teacher. But actually my story in District 30 and my story at IS 145 begins as a student. So I am a product of Jackson Heights and a product of IS 145. So returning to IS 145 as a teacher has been a real privilege of mine, and to watch my school and my community grow has really been an incredible thing to see. I also want to share with all of you that I wish I could say, like some of the speakers beforehand, that teaching has always been something that I've wanted to do, but actually that's not true. I fell in love with teaching in District 30. I fell in love with teaching at IS 145. I fell in love with teaching in the classroom, and I fall more and more in love with teaching as I continue to teach. So a love for teaching has just brought me to continue my learning. And I think it was the first superintendent in District 24 who shared that learning and the love of learning is what brings us into the profession of teaching. And that is absolutely true. And I think it goes hand in hand. And one of the things that is special about being in District 30 and being at IS 145 specifically for me is that continued love of teaching and the continued love of learning. It is here where I found my family, and when I say that, I mean my people. I mean the teachers that continue to inspire me and help me grow and push me in my thinking and in my learning, and challenge me every day to become a better person. So for that, I'm always grateful for my colleagues here and for the leaders here. It is always with great privilege that I am able to ask questions and continue to grow in my profession. And Dr. Composto, he led with that. He ended his speech with our motto, that question, is it good for children? And it is something that he always challenges us to think about, whether or not what we are doing is good for children. And when we are bombarded with the ever-changing climate that we're in right now, keeping that at the backdrop of what we do and what we experience is so important to center our kids. And without further ado, I want to share a little bit about the students, and specifically the students at IS 145, just so you meet a few of them and a few of the things that they engage in. So I'll share my screen so you can see a little snippet of my community and where I've grown up and where I continue to grow every day. These are some of our kids, and this is some of the work that we do. On the image on the left, you saw an image of a girl holding a poster of a green team that she had. And you'll see images of our soccer team and of our dance crew and the incredible community that we've built and we continue to build. This year in our community in Jackson Heights, we experienced a tragedy. There was a fire on 89th Street recently. Some of you might have heard of it, and it was just devastating for Jackson Heights in general. So one of our incredible educators here decided to integrate it into her art education plan, where the kids were asked then to design an app that they can design to help the community members, and more specifically, the head of the 89th Street Tenants Association. So this year, his name is Andrew, and Andrew is actually a close friend of mine. He is also an alumni of IS 145. And for this project, the students interviewed Andrew to see what him and other displaced tenants of the 89th Street's buildings needed in this time after the devastation of the fire. So together, the students brainstormed after the interview and after hearing about the needs of the tenants, and they designed an original app to meet some of the needs of these tenants in the most desperate times of their lives. So bringing it back to our motto of that question of what is good for students, what is good for our children, we really believe that centering them around community, centering them around reality, and pushing them to believe in one another and continue to hold each other up are the tenets that we live by. And we do that for one another. We lift each other up, we support one another, and we push each other to be better. And we do that for our children. We lift them up, we support them, and we hope that they can be the best versions of themselves. Well, thank you all for listening, and hope to see some of you here and to join our family in District 30.
Thank you, Samantha. Great job. Proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Composto and District 30, and thank you to all of the community school district superintendents for being here with us today. At this time, we're going to transition to our Superintendent of Queens High Schools, Ms. Elaine Lindsay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First, I want to say congratulations to all of the students from Queens College. So very proud of you. Thank you for joining us today as you prepare to start one of the most rewarding and exciting careers. When we look at society, when we see its success, those who are at the helm, all of that is possible simply because of great teachers. Each of us have experienced that teacher or group of teachers who made the difference by motivating and making us believe that we can do anything. Here at Queens North High Schools, we support, we embrace, and we partner with our teachers as we believe that teachers are the backbone to every student's success. Our why, simply put, our students, our responsibility, our future. At Queens North High Schools, teachers participate in district-wide professional learning and have opportunities to network outside of their school and across the district. As we continue to grow and learn as educators, we embrace the fact that the answers are amongst the teachers within our district who are not only here to support within their own schools, but also across the district as well. Showcase classrooms as well as ongoing professional learning continue to serve as those supportive opportunities for our teachers. Joining me on the line are, I just want to introduce some of my people on the line, are my Deputy Superintendent, Elaine Gibson, my Field Support Liaison, Banjo Abayadun, and our fabulous teacher, Francesca Frias from Frank Sinatra High School. Because time is far spent, I'm going to quickly speak about the district and then I'm going to turn it over to the awesome Field Support Liaison, Banjo Abayadun, and following will be our amazing teacher, Francesca Frias. I'm going to quickly go through the PowerPoint that's going to be shared by my Deputy Superintendent. We're going to skip down to just a quick look at who is on our staff. We're going to go to the team. This is our team, not going to read it. We will share all of this information and you'll be able to access it. We're going to go, this is the Queens North District Superintendent's team. These are all of the members who make this work possible. There is no man is an island and I absolutely cannot and do not do this by myself. This is the dynamic team that I have that support all of our Queens North principals as well as our teachers. Next slide, please. So here we in Queens North, we consist of 25 high schools across District 24, 25, 26, and 30. These are just some of our high schools. So within those districts, we have 8 in District 24, 6 in D25, 4 in D26, and 7 in District 30. Next slide. We have our, we call them spotlight schools, but these are our schools with special programs. We have our art school, which is Frank Sinatra, Early College, Bard High School. We have an IB program school, secondary school, International Baccalaureate School for Global Education. That's a 7 through 12. International School, which is our newcomers high school. Our secondary school, World Journalism, which is a 6 through 12 high school. Our Renzulli School, Veritas Academy, and our CTE School, Aviation High School, and Queens Tech. Next slide. Some of the distinct initiatives, which I briefly mentioned, we have showcase classrooms. This is specifically teachers who showcase their expertise and support with the professional learning of their colleagues, not only within their buildings, in their communities, but also across the entire district. We open up those opportunities for all of our teachers, as well as our administrators to go into these classrooms, particularly during this time of pandemic, just to support and see some of the best practices that exist across the district. As I said, the answer in the district is always in the room. The answer is amongst our amazing teachers. We also, some of the initiatives are My Brother's Keeper, My Sister's Keeper, and my Field Support Liaison, Rashawn Abayadun will speak to that in a little later on. Next slide. So here we have some of the MBK community that you see here. I'm not going to speak to that, but these are some of the schools that have MBK programs. If we go to the next slide, you'll see some of the schools that have our MSK programs. So these are some of our MSK programs that are across our high schools. And the next slide will go to some of our programs that have supporting special populations. We have provisions of robust educational experience for students with disabilities and our English language learners. We participate in district and borough office collaborations with professional learning. And we also have support through our borough instructional leads that also provide push in support to our teachers as well as our administrators. So at this time, I'm going to turn this over to our field support liaison, our Banjo Abayadun, and then following him will be our amazing teacher, Francesca Frias, who is from Frank Sinatra High School. So at this time, Rashawn.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Lindsay. And thank you all. Congratulations, pre-service teachers. Sorry for the confusion. My name is Abiodun Rashawn Banjo. I've had a couple conversations with you previously, and there might have been some confusion there, but I'm the same person. I work at the honor of work for Superintendent Lindsay as a field support liaison. And I'd like to just share some of the work that we've done to advocate student voice. But I think it would be remiss if we don't hear some of the objective from some of the national leaders of this work.
Hi, everybody. While we can't be together in person, I appreciate the chance to join you virtually for the My Brother's Keeper New York State Symposium. We started My Brother's Keeper because there are communities in this country where young people have the odds stacked against them from the very beginning. And we all have an obligation to make sure those young people, including boys and young men of color, had the opportunity to work hard and achieve their dreams. 7 years later, My Brother's Keeper is still having an impact as part of the Obama Foundation. MBK has become a national movement, with more than 250 cities, counties, and tribal nations accepting the MBK Community Challenge. It's led to scores of new policy initiatives and private sector commitments, all helping to eliminate barriers and expand opportunities for young men and their families. And MBK New York State has helped lead the way. In 2016, you became the first state to sign MBK into law, and the investments you've made, including more than $80 million spread out across 60 school districts and 16 colleges and universities, are bringing our mission to life. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because hardworking people care deeply about our kids and work even harder to bring about meaningful, lasting change in our communities. That's why I want to thank Speaker Hasty, Chancellor Young, Commissioner Rosa, and Dr. Alston for your leadership and dedication to this movement. I've heard Speaker Hasty, in particular, was so inspired by the launch of the MBK Alliance in the Bronx that he immediately brought leaders together to create this statewide initiative and has become a real advocate for investing in this work. Thank you to all the educators, parents, and mentors who've made this program what it is, and to the MBK Fellows and all the boys and young men who are here today. Thank you for working hard at school, even when it's on video. Thank you for helping out around the house and giving back to your communities. It matters. And everything My Brother's Keeper does is about making sure that the effort you're putting in pays off. When I launched My Brother's Keeper back in 2014, I said that none of this will be easy. We're dealing with complicated issues that run deep in our history and our society. And in a lot of ways, the pandemic has made things more difficult. But organizations like MBK New York State give me hope. People like all of you give me hope. Because while America's never been perfect, we have seen again and again that ordinary people can do their part to move this country forward and give more Americans the opportunities they deserve. So thank you, all of you, for being your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper, and for helping make a difference, not just for this generation, but for generations to come. Have a great symposium, everybody. God bless.
But what I wanted to do was just highlight some of the overall messaging around the My Brother's Keeper movement from a national sense down to a citywide sense and onto our borough. So at the extreme pleasure of Superintendent Lindsay, I've been tasked with leading the My Brother's Keeper high school objective work. And for the past 2 years, our real work has been expanding student voice through civic engagement, leadership development, and like Dr. Composto says, through mentorship, an aspect that all of us as leaders or emerging leaders need. So combined with that work, along with direct student work and empowerment, we've also had professional development series with our advisors who are teachers, administrators, and support personnel to just do that work around connecting with students in a myriad different ways. To that end, we've had an ongoing partnership with the Teacher Opportunity Corps at Queens College, which many of you may be a part of. And we've had ongoing conversations to just talk about what the expectations are for first year teachers, what some of the aspects and tools are to really connect with our diverse student population, and how to leverage your own very exquisite and unique experiences to bring into the classroom and also diversify our teaching staff moving forward. So I'd like to put a link to a meeting that will be held this afternoon with other Queens College pre-service teachers and some of our Queens North students as another just example of how we're trying to make that connection between your own experiences and some of the high school students that many of you will interact with along with your teaching career. So I'll put those informations in the chat. I'm sorry if there was any technical difficulties in just showing the videos, but I do want to thank Superintendent Lindsay for allowing me to explain some of the great work that we're doing in Queens North High Schools, specifically around student empowerment and student engagement. I'll share the video to all the other superintendents who we've also put into plans and works around this work. And I just want to thank you for this time. At this juncture, I love to introduce our teacher, Ms. Francesca Frias. Thank you very much, Ms. Frias.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Superintendent Lindsay, for giving me the opportunity to be here today, and everyone that is still with us. My name is Francesca Frias. I am a teacher in District 30. I'm actually a product of a New York City Teaching Fellow program, so that's how I got into the system. I teach at Astoria at Frank Sinatra High School. I remember coming in for my first interview, and as soon as I stepped into the atrium or the lobby, I was like, this is my dream school. I need to teach here. I actually am a product of the New York City Department of Education system, born and raised in New York City. All of my schools were in Queens, so being on this side, I never thought I would be on the other side of this. What I love about teaching overall is that it is a work of the heart, as cliche as that might sound. I left a career in tech because I wasn't passionate about it. At the end of the day, I just felt like it wasn't fulfilling. That is completely opposite of my experience now in the classroom. I can tell you so many things about my teaching experiences in just 3 short years that I've been doing it. But one thing I will say is that my favorite part about it is being able to speak, teach, inspire, and learn from our incredible students in Queens. And that I can bring all of me into the classroom every single day. And what I mean by that is that a teacher isn't just a teacher. I teach, I lead, I inspire. I'm a big sister, I'm an auntie, I'm a role model, I'm a colleague, I'm tech support, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a colleague, I'm a designer, and I get to wear all these different hats and bring all of these different facets, passions and skills into my school community, and it's better because of it, and I'm better because of it. One thing is what we learn in college. Another thing is when you get and you roll up your sleeves and you actually get to do the work. And I think one of the most important things about that is knowing that you're a part of a community of administrators, teachers, leaders, colleagues that are supportive. And that is what you're going to need, especially in this field, especially in the uncertain times that we're living in. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. And I know you guys are going to do great. Hopefully you'll be able to join us at District 30. Or Queens High School North.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Francesca. Francesca was being very modest. She forgot to mention that she's not only a teacher, I'm going to call her teacher extraordinaire. She is a fabulous teacher who, when we were thrust into this world of pandemic, when we as a district needed support around technology, we reached out to what I said, the answer being in the room, we reached out to our teacher, Francesca Frias, to work with us to plan, facilitate professional learning, not only for the district team, but also for the principals as well as teachers across the district. So here at the high school superintendent's level, we believe that teachers are also a part of the learning and the professional learning that's not only being delivered to them, but also that can be provided to those outside of just those who are pedagogues. So we embrace everyone. We are all lifelong learners, and we sit here humbled by the fact that she was willing to take time out of her busy schedule to plan that as a teacher, despite the myriad of responsibilities that she had in this pandemic to help us to do this work better. That is what we are as a superintendents. We believe that we are a family. We operate as a family. We support each other as a family. And if you to join any of our schools across District 24, 5, 6, and 30, any of the high schools, or any of our secondary 6 through 12, we are here as a supportive district to ensure that everyone is successful, because ultimately we are here to provide the most absolute best education for the children. So again, I thank you for your time, and thank you for staying on at this late hour. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over into the hands of Dina.
Thank you, Superintendent Lindsay. Thank you, Francesca, Rashawn. At this time, that concludes our presentations from our superintendents. For those of you still with us, if you have additional questions, please drop them in the Q&A on the Q&A button. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Louis Latito, who is the Field Support Liaison for District 25, who will lead us through the Q&A portion of this session, and then we'll wrap up shortly thereafter.
Thank you very much, Dina. And I want to thank all of our district teams and our school staff for coming today and joining. It was a really great presentation. Just as Dina just said, head over to the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and enter any more questions that you have. I know we had a bunch of questions that we answered either live or by typing the answer in. Just to summarize some of the questions, there was a lot of questions about specific HR or application related questions. You have been given the email address for Jessica, who's one of the HR directors at Queens North, and I'm going to put her email address back in the chat as well. She is your lifeline. If you have any questions specific to you, to your application, send her an email. Jessica's wonderful, and she'll be able to provide guidance and information. A lot of the questions that we have, hi Jessica, a lot of the questions that we had to do with about specific applications, deadlines, stuff like that. And Jessica will also be collecting cover letters and resumes. So as soon as you have those documents ready, you should send them over to her. We also had some questions around preference, what districts you want to work in. You know, we really want to work hard to match new teachers to places where they want to work. So this is your chance. Reach out to Jessica, tell her where you want to work, share your resume. She's going to be tracking all that and basically tracking you guys through the process, through the hiring process, to make sure that we can make you home in Queens North. We have, let's see, another question. So another great question. Who do we get in touch with if we're interested in working in these districts? Again, Jessica is going to be your point of contact for anything to do with hiring. Of course, you're more than welcome to contact principals directly and district staff directly, but Jessica working for the borough office can kind of be that outlet to connect you with those. She also is going to be working with the other HR directors. Jessica doesn't do all schools. She just does a group of schools, but she has her colleagues, and we can find out where there are vacancies and kind of make those matches there. So that is the best way, just to kind of email Jessica. Sorry, Jessica, you get a lot of emails.
No worries.
If there are any other questions, I think we answered most of the questions in by typing the answers. A lot of them are specific HR directions, HR related questions. This webinar was recorded and will be made available online. All of the resources that we shared will be posted on the same website you used to register. And don't worry, I'll also email you that link again, likely on Monday, so you can have access to all of those resources. Okay. All right, Dina, I guess, or Shirley, we can, questions are sneaking in. So when you, and this is a good question for Jessica, when they write their cover letter, who should they address it to? Hiring agent, you know,
hiring manager, hiring manager. It's fine.
Okay. All right. If we are expecting a degree, is there an option on the application? So I think the question is maybe for those who have not gotten their degree yet, right? Because they haven't graduated just yet. Jessica, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, on the application itself, yes, you do have an option. There's two options depending where you are. It's either you're on track to get your certification, or you either have met all the requirements and you're just waiting for the state to issue your certification. Both options are there.
Okay. And this came up on Wednesday's meeting also. We know you haven't graduated yet, but you should start the process of applying now if you haven't done so already. Here's a good question from George. Before he can search for a job, because his application is currently in review, would you recommend he begin networking with schools that he's interested in? Maybe submitting his resume or stuff like that? Jessica?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. The reason for this is because the DOE does their own credential evaluation if you're not certified yet and a school is interested in hiring you. The DOE does their own evaluation, and we can issue you a temporary license until you receive your actual certification.
And if you have your sub license, it's also always good if you can sub in a school that you'd like to work in. So just so that they can get to know you a little bit too, which is something that we see lots of subs get hired directly that way as well. Great. Here, are there any more questions? All right. So Shirley, I will turn it over to you to wrap things up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Louis. So wow. What an awesome session today. Time well spent with great educators and our future educators. I just want to thank you again for spending time with us today and hope this better prepares our Queens College graduating students as they embark upon this next phase of life. Congratulations, students, and we hope to see you in one of our schools and certainly at one of our training and professional learning workshops next fall. Thank you to our superintendents, their teams, and teachers for being a part of today's session. I want to wish all mothers on the call a happy Mother's Day and a wonderful weekend to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Be well.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. Thank you.